With Agtivation, after the first, it took a few months, but after the first year, we actually sold our first Pottinger machine completely online based, where they found us through our website. And since then, that continues to grow.
Hi, I'm Laura with Agtivation, and today we're going to meet with Brent. And Brent is one of the owners with Buckeye Farmers, and they pride themselves in farmers serving farmers. So Brent, thank you very much for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about your business and what you do here in Ohio.
Okay, Laura. Well, thanks for having me. So Buckeye Farmers LLC, we started a few years back, and we started off with selling AgriGold seed. Our AgriGold seed business has continued to grow. We've been doing that for about 11 years. And we typically increase, 500 units of corn a year. So it's just kind of a steady pace. About 7 years ago, we incorporated Pottinger hay and tillage equipment into our business. And we became a Pottinger dealer. We're one of 102 in the United States. And when we added Pottinger equipment, we were an experiment for that company because we were, quote unquote, kind of a farmer dealer, not an implement dealer. And I thought we would sell a few pieces local and kind of as a side project. And it grew way beyond what I expected. And now we sell machinery 450 miles one way from home, and we cover Ohio and Indiana and Kentucky very, very well. And Pottinger is a sound company with everything's built in Austria. And so we represent them pretty well here in the state of Ohio. And then in 2019, we took on another company called Green Tech. And Green Tech is green area maintenance machines.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely like quad saws and barrier mowers, as you know. And we became the distributor for Green Tech in the United States. And so that project's up and running and has been pretty successful, but with the times the way they are currently, it's a little challenging, but we continue to grow with that as well.
That's wonderful. And you say you're small, but you sure cover a lot, like you said, and you have a lot on your plate every day. Well, what would, we've been working together for a few years, but if you can think about before we started working together, what was one of the main problems that you had before working with Agtivation?
So prior to Agtivation, when we first started Buckeye Farmers, we did have a website. We worked with a out of Dayton, Ohio, and we put a website. It wasn't an interactive website by any stretch of imagination. It was basically a bunch of slides that people could kind of scan through. And we spent money on that site and really had little or no impact to our business.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of maybe legitimized us a little bit as we started in the fact that somebody could go online and find us. That was about the extent of it.
Mm-hmm.
When we reached out to you, we needed to make some changes because we struggled to get our other website updated and things like that. And so with Agtivation, it took a few months, but after the first year, we actually sold our first Pottinger machine completely online based, where they found us through our website. And since then, that continues to grow.
That's excellent. And I'm glad that you mentioned that. And I'm glad that you're seeing your website as an extension, like the 24/7 salesman. So you may get a chance to get in the field and work on some of your stuff yourself, that your website can still be doing business online for you and complementing what you do in person so well.
It's working out well, Laura. And then the ease of doing business with you is nice too.
Thank you.
So if it is complicated and tiresome, I would struggle to spend time with it. And I know that, Sarah's the primary focal point with working with you. She's the one that's always bringing it up. And the fact that, it's easy to communicate with you and your folks makes life a lot easier for us.
Well, good. I was going to ask you, why did you select Agtivation? But I think you brought some points forward. Is there anything else you want to add to that statement?
The reason we selected you was because you're ag based, and you've got a general background as far as what we do. Also, the fact that I've known you, not super close, but I mean, I've known you for several years,
Mm-hmm.
and know who you are and what type of people you are and that sort of thing. And it's a good fit for us. You can't always do it when you have a customer, but it's much easier to work with good people and people that have similar interests to you.
Yes.
And because of your background and similar interest in knowing you and that sort of thing, it's been a very positive experience for us.
Good. We definitely enjoy our monthly meetings, and we enjoy that open communication, and we enjoy promoting you guys and seeing you succeed online.
Well, and I'm high maintenance too. So the fact when we got the website up and running and you want this and this and this and this, and I say, look, it is so much easier if I can sit down with you and tell you what I want in person versus sending everything to start with.
Uh-huh.
And honestly, that there was the beginning of a really good working relationship because you simplified my life. So
great. I'm glad to hear it. And it was, we're not exactly neighbors. You're close enough, but you had to make the commitment to drive here. And we really appreciated you coming and sitting with us. So our door is always open for that opportunity when you're ready to make any adjustments and stuff. But it's nice that we're able to do these monthly meetings on the computer as well. Because I was going to ask you, what of our process did you enjoy most? And it sounds like our monthly meetings as well as being able to come here. But is there anything else that you found very effective with our process?
The fact that we can do something maybe not necessarily in the box if we need to get something done.
Right.
Out of the box thinking. And then with the line of work you're in, you're more knowledgeable than we are, and so relying on your input is key for us. And I would tell you that most of the time you've been right for what will work for us, and we really didn't know what would work for us. Okay. And so that's your experience has helped us make money. So
I'm glad to hear that. Because that was what I was going to ask you next, is as a result of us implementing and working together on strategy, what would you say would be your biggest outcome?
So the green tech distribution is a new feat. And, based on past experience, I've done some things similar to that, to where the thing with our products, other than the seed corn, is Pottinger in our area, no one has ever heard of them. Mm-hmm. Green Tech in the United States, no one has ever heard of them. And so we're basically trying to launch a new product, get people educated on that new product, and in turn sell that new product, which is why we're all here, is to sell something and make some money.
That's excellent. So anybody that might be listening to this or thinking they're on the fence as to whether to work with Agtivation or doing the Marketing Maximizer, what advice would you have for them?
I think Agtivation is a great company to work with. I think Marketing Maximizer can be a very good fit. My only suggestion is I'm a guy that kind of walks before I run. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what we have done with you. We have started, and we keep adding and adding and adding and adding, and we have to do it on our time frame so we can dedicate enough time to do it the right way. Milt Kalmbach told me the first day I went to work for him back in 1993, he told me to grow properly and profitably. Mm-hmm. And what he meant by that is, a 10, 20% growth year in and year out is sustainable. 100% growth year in and year out is not. And so just grow properly and profitably. And I feel like you've been a part of our growth from, a few years where we were established just a little bit. You've really helped us become a lot more established. His other thing he told me that I'll never forget is enjoy what you're doing 75% of the time and you're going to be successful. And there's a lot of truth to that. When I quit enjoying that first job and I was down below 50% of the time, it was time for me to do something different. Mm-hmm. It took me 15 years to get there, but I got there. So,
but you're there. You're there.
yeah.
Well, Brent, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts and those kind words today. It is a pleasure working with you and your entire team. So look forward to our next meeting.
Sounds great.